But this lack of clarity and this lack of crosstalk going on between the two fields of research is a problem, because what you'll see in the animal models of research is that there are drugs being used now to induce a diabetic state in mice. And those drugs are streptozotocin and alloxin. And what those are doing is they are targeting the cellular mechanisms in beta cells to induce inflammation and an inflammatory response that renders them dead, right? So it's a targeted attack on the infrastructure of the beta cells. Now, you may say, like, okay, well, after you use that, then you have a mouse that is diabetic, and you can implement the whatever the subject is that you're looking to study, whether it be, a diet, whether it be a drug, what have you, to help see if you can regenerate whatever it is that you want to do. But what that outlook neglects is the systemic effects that could be possible in inducing a human's diabetes, right? So when you give a mouse streptozotocin or alloxin, what's the effect on the liver? Is the liver at all affected? Is the greater endocrine system, the thyroid, the digestive system, are any of those things also affected to the extent where they are having the effect on, the variables that we're interested in as diabetics looking at these mice? And the answer is no. It'd be impossible, right? It's like, if you look at all of the things that go into what makes a human diabetic, there's no way that a study could ever cover all of those bases. I mean, that's the too long didn't read version of this whole episode. Because when you give those mice streptozotocin and alloxin, you're ignoring the genetic nature of the mice, right? So you're simultaneously saying, oh, there could be a genetic nature to diabetics. But in this model that we're using, we're just kind of like blasting those cells with an immune system and neglecting any sort of marginal or outside effects that someone with those genes, could impact, right? And you may be saying to yourself, well, that's just too complicated, Bowie. How could they ever? And I'm not here to say that it's an easy job, and I can't understand why nobody's figured it out yet. But it just keeps happening, and there are no adjustments being made. So conversely to the streptozotocin and the alloxin-induced diabetes, there are also genetically manipulated mice called NOD, non-obese diabetic mice. Now, these mice are genetically engineered to have an immune system that targets their beta cells. Now, this kind of plays into the classic accepted version of type 1 diabetes, but it also completely neglects the nutritional and the stress management idea behind mineral balance, nutritional deficiencies and things like that can go into exacerbating inflammation to induce diabetes, right? So again, it's like all or nothing with one or the other, and without any regard for something other than what it is that they're saying it is. So it's a mouthful. It's, it rattles around my brain most days. But when you're reading that research, and as a member of the general public or as a researcher, how do you take what you're learning and apply it in the human system?